Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of Tower of God Chapter 328, or Season 2, Episode 248. Math in my head. And Baam, why? But I'll get to that when it's time to get to that. But overall, I thought the vast majority of this chapter was a bit above average for Tower of God, and average for Tower of God's pretty damn high. Because, I mean, different series, like I usually say when I'm scoring stuff, that average for any entertainment at all for me is going to be a 5 out of 10. But different series usually average around different things. Like I usually give One Piece maybe like a 7-ish, sometimes 8-ish. I'd say that's where the average lies. And with Tower of God, I feel like I give it at least an 8 or a 9 pretty much every week. There are the occasional 10s I've given it when it's been really good, and I kind of hope I've given it like one of my rare above 10, my like 11 out of 10 scores. I'm hoping I've given it that at least once, because I know I reviewed the chapter with the Baam and Joaquin fight, and that is quite possibly, I would say that, in my opinion, that's the best written chapter of the series. Also the Kaiser backstory chapter, I feel like that one would deserve maybe higher than an ordinary 10, because that was an incredible chapter as well. But yeah, so I'd say this one was pretty above average, even for a series that has a pretty high average. Starting off from the beginning, we have everybody reacting to Baam killing Fabregas, and Baam's just cold about it. This dude's like, I just killed somebody, let's move along. Rachel thinks that it's because of the thorn. I think that could be important. I mean, I like to think when characters make sort of a remark about something that it's usually not a throwaway line. It usually has some sort of significance. So I'm not sure how it'll come around, but perhaps Rachel, her thinking that the thorn is what gives Baam the ability to take out an irregular, or take out an immortal, instead of his status as an irregular and being able to use the black hole sphere, which is seemingly just some sort of irregular Shinsu control style. Maybe that'll come into play somehow. Then the Dali bowing some more was funny. I find Dali's character really interesting and cool. But yeah, Rachel is suspicious of him, and I'm kind of with that. And while they're running through the hallways, Baam is just murdering all these cute guards, these poor cute guards. But yeah, Rachel's really suspicious of Dali, and I can share her suspicion. Things seem kind of off. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but things do seem off. And I love how Siu wrote this so that Kun and the entire scene with him being suspicious of Waryun almost exactly mirrors that scene with Rachel thinking that about Dali. Like, I love, and he's done that a lot. He's mirrored Kun and Rachel quite a lot. But I really, really like how he did it here. So yeah, Kun's suspicious of Waryun as well. Then Baam sees Yuri. Mata takes over this leech. Good whenever Mata gets a little bit of significance to make him seem like he's useful. Garam and Yuram, we get the confirmation that they were sisters. Evan seemingly wrecks Sanchez, but Sanchez is immortal, so I think he just stopped him from attacking, didn't really wreck him. Then Yuram, we find out, activated 2 of the 13 months, went on a rampage, and Garam had to kill her in order to save her family from being painted as these evil traitors by Zahard. So yeah, the person who took over Yuri, this ghost, this spirit that took over Yuri, saw that happen, so it leads us to believe that the 13 months have this hive mind capability where whatever experiences happen to one, the rest of them, or at least this part of the ghost, whatever happens to one, this ghost can see all of it. She has the hive mind of all 13. Because yeah, these two were completely separate from the two that were in that situation, and she knew what had happened. Then we find out that this ghost also loves to make the princesses fight, and that she's the one that made the promise to Zahard. Now, we found out a few chapters back, they were like, it's all because that person made a promise with Zahard. And I think they even said that man, which turned out to be a bit misleading in the gender translation there. They were like, this person made a deal with Zahard, and that created this curse to make the princesses fight and hate each other. And I like that we're finding out that this person was somebody who failed to become one of the original princesses, and then she made the deal with Zahard and had her spirit seep into the 13-month spirits. So I like the way they let us know that the 13-month spirits are their own spirit. They aren't part of her. So there's these 13 different spirits, but whoever this person is who made this deal with Zahard, she split herself and put pieces of herself in all 13 of those. And she has caused 5 princesses to be killed because whenever they ignite 2 or more of the series, or I guess 2, I doubt anybody's ignited more than 2, she takes over their body. She can apparently only do it for a week, but that's actually a really good drawback to that. So I like that is the case. But yeah, I really like this, and it's Zahard's way of preventing somebody from collecting all the series, and just in general, I think that was a really cool way to write things, because if my theory is still correct, if the 13-month spirits are the original 13 princesses, that's so cool, because they were the people that made it, and she's just vindictive. She was one of the people that didn't make it, so she had her spirit seep into these 13, who, I mean, in turn were kind of screwed over by Zahard and trapped in the weapons, if that's possibly correct. So yeah, it's just so cool. Like, this is why it's above average for me, just because the princess stuff, if done well, the 13-month stuff is, well, it's pretty much always been done well, so I'm not sure what it's like when it's not done well. But man, when all of that's done well, it is really some of the most exciting concept stuff in Tower of God. Some of the most exciting lore as well. So then Garam busts out this Bell of Dawn. She has Kronka is master of the stealth, because he's apparently been watching them this entire time. I feel like we can safely assume that. We can safely assume he's the one that called Garam earlier, like many people had guessed. So yeah, he throws this ancient trapping cloth on Yuri, and Garam says that she's collected enchanted items in order to fight against the evil spirit whenever it appears. And the Bell of Dawn was a weapon of Arlen's that chases away evil spirits or whatever. And the spirit, while she's freaking out saying, no, please don't do it, is saying something about a real grudge. So like, you don't know anything about my real grudge. That, again, just so many hints that Siu's throwing out at us that we're probably not going to find out more about until much, much later, really. Then Heljo runs in to save her. Or save the ghost spirit Yuri takeover body. But either way, man, I love Heljo's characterization here. I love the way he's just like, man, and like the whole time he was like cheering on everybody in different things, or who is this, and giving commentary. But then when he gets involved, he's like, there's only so chill that I can possibly be. And then Yuri, he's like, will you work with me? I'm cool with that. I'm a pretty calm, chill guy. And then she throws the shot at like everybody around, including Garam, Heljo, everyone. Heljo just starts morphing more demonic-like, and he's like, okay, this is enough of this. I am losing my cool. I really love the way that Siu has characterized him. Then the big one negative of this chapter, and it's kind of a whopping negative. First up, that Baam comes in because main character bullshit way, way too soon into this place where it's characters that are way, way bigger than him in power. Now, that's only kind of a small negative that he runs in way too soon, because it can still be written around perfectly fine. All of it can still be written around perfectly fine. But yeah, that is a negative that he came in early. But the massive, massive negative is him saving Yuri, bringing her back to her bringing her back to her senses because main character. Like, man, that is such bullshit. And it wouldn't be as bad if it didn't take away story from other characters, but it does. It takes away story from Yuri and Garam and this 13-month spirit thing. And if it didn't take away that story from other characters, it wouldn't be so bad. But Baam's the main character, but you need supporting characters too, and this was just nonsensical. Really, really saddening. And it makes it more and more likely that Baam could potentially try to stand up to Heljo or something, which a lot of people have been worried about, because that is just too god status trying to make Baam look cool without any sort of building or story. It's some Naruto bullshit, really. If Baam stands up to or can stand against Teljo here, it is seriously some Naruto bullshit if that's the case. Yeah, it is just, man, it's way too early in bullshit for this. Then Joe becomes even more demonic once again, just not having this shit. We see Yurik has Yura and Wangnan, and he hypes up Joe some more, says the Red Thryssa is the Guardian's child, and bam, big reveal, Joe becomes even more of a complete monster. Some blog info here. Blog info, he gave a concept picture, a concept image for what he's thinking of doing for the cover of the first Tankobon volume, and it looks pretty nice actually. And he says that they're going to be releasing the books over time. Just he's going to work on it while he's not doing other things, and then release the Tankobon volumes whenever he gets finished with one, he'll release it. No real set schedule for that he's going to stick to. Then he says that Baam waking Yuri here wasn't an easy decision. In my opinion, it was an incredibly wrong decision. But he says it was not an easy decision to make, and only time will tell if it was the right one. He says that he made, and this is something I really respect and agree with, that he made Heljo comedic at first in order to build up his importance over time, instead of just saying, oh, he's so great, he's got the child of the Guardian attached to him, and saying all this great stuff about him at the beginning. We just met him and he was goofy, joking around, whatever, and we built into that badassness. I really, really like that style of writing. I like the way he did that a lot. Also, he mentions that Joe versus Yurik is kind of like the Guardian versus Enryu scaled down. So I like that comparison. I like what he's doing there with that. Now, some of my just basic thoughts here. No idea what's up with this Dasa rescue, because Ryun is admittedly acting a little bit sketchy. Dali is definitely acting a little sketchy here. The Princess and Spirit stuff, all that was amazing. All that was really, really good. Like I said, my theory on the Spirits is still that they're the 13 original princesses, and I still think that would be incredibly, incredibly cool if that was the case. I love the Evil Spirit origin, though, that she was somebody who wanted to be one of the original princesses but didn't make it, so she made the deal with Sahar. I really, really like that origin story. Heljo, just as a character, I've got to praise the characterization. Like, he's so well built up. The way he started and then built Heljo up, the way he designed him, it looks really cool. The characterization with the personality looks awesome. I really, really have a lot of praise for the character. And, I mean, Heljo's not even one of my favorite characters or anything just personally, but I really respect what Siu did with developing him. It's just such a well-developed villain to have not been in the story very long. Now, the big negative here is the Baam bullshit main character cop-out here, and that it happened way too soon. There was still a lot we could have got out of the angle they were having there with the body takeover as well, and maybe we still will have more with it, but at least for now, this is just way, way too soon. And it's definitely the bullshit cop-out. And it does hurt the other characters to an extent, at least for now. This is, again, something that can be written around and something that can be overcome. But at least for now, it was a bad decision that needs to be overcome. So yeah, as a score, I would have originally probably given it like 9 out of 10. I still think I would have given it like a 9 out of 10 just because the stuff was so good other than Baam jumping in. Even if Baam had jumped in and I was like, okay, it's a bit too early for him to be getting face to face with Yuri here, but if he would have done that and Yuri wouldn't have come to her senses, she would have been like, who the hell are you, or something. That would have carried on a really interesting angle and added more interesting stuff into it that she just didn't know who Baam was and was still taken over. And Baam was there witnessing that. That would have added a whole new part to the angle. That could have been even better than him not showing up. Even if it was too soon. I probably would have still given it like a 9 out of 10. But him bringing her back to her senses in just such a main character bullshit kind of way, I've got to knock it down to like 7. Like 7, what happened to this was sketchy rescues out of 10. I still don't trust this this Dasa rescue mission. There is something afoot. If Kun and Rachel are both thinking something's afoot, then I am prone to think something is afoot. I'd say 7 sketchy rescues out of 10. Just sadly, because, man, if it wasn't for that one thing, this would have been just such a great chapter. And other than that one thing, it was such a great chapter. Don't let the negative distract from how good the 13-month series stuff was. At least that's the way I look at it. But yeah, either way, that's all I got. Thank you once again for watching. Like if you did like the video, and comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this week's video, what you thought of this week's chapter, what you thought of my thoughts on it, and all that. Subscribe if you want and are not already for more Tower of God and more. Lots of stuff on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want to try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. That is it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.